Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's live stream. I hope that you are all doing well. Very impromptu discussion stream. Tonight I was planning on doing Overwatch and, playing a little bit of that, but I figured with a lot of the news coming out about delays of movies and possibly games and next-gen consoles, I did want to do a discussion stream and really talk about the news. Tomorrow night on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be playing Overwatch though to make up for not playing it tonight, but I hope that you are all doing well tonight. We will be discussing Disneyland Closing amid COVID-19 fears. This is really big news. Disneyland has only ever closed 4 times, and the last time that it closed was after the news of 9/11 and all of the fallout from that. So this is some very big news. We will also be discussing a couple of movies that were announced today that the releases are going to be pushed back due to the virus. Production problems, companies not wanting to lose out on that sweet Chinese market. Mainly we will be talking about Mulan, rumors that Black Widow is actually going to be delayed because of, as of right now, Black Widow is not being delayed. It's still supposed to be releasing in roughly a month, though with all of these films being delayed and pushed back, it does seem realistic at this point that it will be delayed, since there were a lot of rumors about Disney films being delayed, but now we've really got that confirmation, especially after Disneyland closing. I also wanted to discuss, I already did discuss it on Monday, but kind of E3 and the conventions being cancelled, but I really wanted to talk about how that could affect next-gen consoles, especially with production problems and games as well. Games are currently kind of being rumored to be held back, which is another big problem going into, November, when all of these new releases are supposed to start happening. And I also wanted to discuss Patreon. Now, this is actually something new to me that I didn't see until a little while ago when someone had actually sent it to me when I mentioned in Discord that I was going to be doing this stream, is that Patreon is allegedly beginning to ban anime-related content, which obviously some people in the past have had problems with Patreon. I use Patreon. I have a Patreon set up for the channel. I myself have never experienced any big problems with them, but, people in the past have. And I really wanted to talk about all of these different things, a lot of news that is coming out currently. So before we get into the topics, how are you all doing? I just want to say, before we get into these topics, I know that people are very worried about kind of the coronavirus and COVID-19 and all of the fears surrounding it. I'm not making this stream and creating this stream to make anyone more nervous. Obviously, it is a very touchy and sensitive topic, because there are so many delays and kind of a stop in everyday life. But I just wanted to talk about how this could impact the entertainment, industries, gaming industries, just movies, TV shows in general. So I do know that people are worried, but I did want to talk about kind of all of these delays, because these are a couple of these movies, at least, are ones that are highly anticipated. Some of them, like Mulan, maybe not so much. Maybe they wouldn't get my money anyway, but still. But welcome to the live stream, everyone. Have you watched the Sophia Arnard's video about games journalism? The one that she had posted like 2 weeks ago? I have seen that. I didn't talk about it though, but I did see it. What is with this big beef against anime? So a big problem with anime, with a lot of companies like Valve and Sony and maybe even possibly now Patreon, is the fact that they feel like sometimes the characters can look young. They can look underage, even if their ages are 18, 19, 20, whatever it may be. They feel as though the age is a problem. So if we look at shows that maybe are based in a high school and the characters are wearing high school attire, even if the characters are supposed to be like seniors in high school, they're supposed to be maybe like 18, which is the legal age, even though whatever your opinion on that is. they still feel as though it could break laws because they look like they're underage, and it's a mess because all of these companies have very different excuses. But we all kind of know that they're coming from the same place in a way. It's a big problem. It is a big problem. The fact that even though these are drawings and not real people, real kids, these aren't characters based off of real people. It's still like that fear to these companies that, oh, maybe, someone will like misinterpret this and we'll have a big problem on our hands, which I obviously think is ridiculous, but yeah, as Grimm said, they're drawn characters, it's not like they're real characters. The legal age differs. In Japan, it's 14. In Germany, it's 16. In the United States, it's 18. The legal ages in places vary, which is why it's hard to kind of say, oh, this is the legal age, because it's different in many places, but it is what it is. Alright, I think we are going to get started and go into the first topic, which is Disneyland. Disneyland is closing amid the COVID-19 fears. Now, today there were quite a lot of big announcements coming out of Disney. This announcement that Disneyland is closing for the foreseeable future, the announcements of a couple of movies and shows being delayed. There was a lot to come out of Disney today, but Disneyland is actually closing amid the COVID-19 fears. When a pandemic sweeps the globe, making large gatherings of people incredibly dangerous, how does the Walt Disney Company respond? At first, with copious amounts of Purell, but as of March 12th, which is today, the operators of the world's largest theme parks announced that California's Disneyland would close on March 14th for only the fourth time since it opened in 1955. Earlier in the day, the California governor announced that Disneyland was exempt from a general order limiting groups of 250 or more people, citing the situation as complex and unique. However, by early afternoon, the company issued a statement saying while there have been no reported cases of COVID-19 at Disneyland's resort, after carefully reviewing the guidelines of the Governor of California's executive order and in the best interests of our guests and employees, we are proceeding with the closure of Disneyland Park and Disneyland California Adventure Park beginning the morning of March 14th through the end of the month. So, the governor had said, you guys can stay open. I mean, this is $1 billion. We're talking about Disney. We're talking about $1 billion company, probably, a source of revenue that brings in billions of dollars a year. But they did decide ultimately that it was better and safer to actually close the resort. Now, this is actually a little bit surprising to me because we're talking about Disney. Disney really doesn't, I don't want to say that they don't care, but they are worried about money. And when you are closing something like Disneyland, even if it is only until the end of the month, you're still losing hundreds of thousands, millions possibly of dollars, which was a little bit surprising to me. I think that they're just worried about employees getting sick and that being a problem, which of course, I believe that they should have shut down for now because of the health and safety of others. And apparently they feel that way too. Late last night, California put out a new policy on mass gatherings and engaging in deep conversations with Disney and other companies about how to meet it. Using that policy, Disney made the right call in the interest of public health and agreed to shut down their California parks. Expect more announcements like this shortly. Now, the company is currently making decisions on a park-by-park basis. Walt Disney World Resort in Florida says it's monitoring the situation closely, but remains open to the public with enhanced safety precautions in place. Let's be honest, how many safety precautions can you truly put in place? We're talking about thousands of people in one place. Now, obviously, PAX East did just happen a couple of weeks ago, and, this was before the state of emergency happened in most states, and especially in Massachusetts. People are still worried about kind of the people that went to that event because there were so many people in one place. But of course, there have been no confirmed cases of anyone that was at PAX East. I'm sure that we would have probably heard about something like by now, since it's been like 2.5 weeks. But, you know, these big events are slowly, well, I don't even want to say slowly being canceled, because so many of them have been canceled just today by itself. Disneyland is not by any means the first Disney theme park to close. The company closed Shanghai Disneyland and Hong Kong Disneyland in succession on January 25th and 26th to contain the spread of COVID-19, as the danger of the virus and the disease it caused quickly became clear, and both have remained closed since. However, Disney's Shanghai's Disneytown, the outdoor mall attached to the park, began welcoming guests this week, 45 days into the closures, in what could be an optimistic sign. As the first step of a phased reopening, as reported by CNN, the mall is allowing guests to visit specific locations and undergoing temperature screenings, requiring them to wear masks throughout the present health records and when entering a dining area. But even as promotional videos of furry characters play on social media, the rides still stand. I think that this is dangerous. Obviously, the world is kind of shutting down, let's be honest. I mean, the United States, there were so many things shutting down even just today. I mean, we've seen things with China and South Korea and all of these places that it is spreading very fast. I do think that it is still pretty dangerous to slowly open these things back up, but I guess if they think that it's safe, who am I to judge, I suppose? It's a little bit worrying still. They are still making people take precautions, like wearing masks and, you know, washing their hands and, you know, using hand sanitizer, but you can't bathe every customer in hand sanitizer, so it's still a little bit worrying. When the Japanese Prime Minister requested to postpone large gatherings for 2 weeks last month, Tokyo Disney Resort announced it would close temporarily starting February 29th. This past Monday, March 9th, the park extended that closure through early April, pushing the opening of its new Beauty and the Beast ride and Fantasyland expansion at least 1 month later than intended. Its hotels remain open, but with limited services, as character dining with Mickey Mouse and gift shops remain closed, and buffets have been amended to table service dining. Maybe we shouldn't open buffets. Okay, if you want to open up stores, that's fine, but I don't think we should be opening up buffets. I think that's, to me a little bit far. Let's do a mass banning of buffets. All buffets are canceled. I think it's a little funny. Disneyland Paris, the most visited location in France, also remains open, despite 3 employees having tested positive for the coronavirus. That as well is very worrying. Let's see. So this just talks about how, of course, there are even more of the parks being, you know, closed for now. Historically, this is important. Historically, Disney World and Disneyland have only closed for impending natural disasters or in the wake of national tragedies such as 9/11 or JFK's death. While other businesses may close up shop for Christmas and New Year's Eve here, it's the busiest day of the year. Now, as it says, the Florida theme park resort is still functioning normally, even though they have, you know, safety precautions heightened. You have to question, should they still be open? I understand that, you know, there's not as many confirmed cases in somewhere like Florida as there is in California, but I do still think that these are 2 places that are so busy and so packed with people that maybe currently they shouldn't be open. I know that it's a lot to ask of a billion-dollar company, you know, they've gotta make their money even though people are dying. But I honestly think that they are going to close the Florida location as well. At least I would assume, with hearing everything that they're saying. Now, even before Disneyland's closure, Walt Disney Resort and Disneyland Resort began to offer temporary adjustments to package deals, waiving the $50 change fee for guests who have purchased theme park admission and a hotel room as a bundle. Oh, how generous of them. Oh my gosh. You know, they are waiving the $50 change fee for guests. Oh, Disney, I love you. You're just so consumer friendly. Oh my gosh. I love it. I hate myself. For Disneyland guests, the company pledged in its statement to work with guests who wish to change or cancel their visits and will provide refunds to those who have hotel bookings during this closure period. At the end of the day right now, the Disneyland is closed for at least a month. Now, this number could change. They could end up adding more time to this because who knows in a month how the state is going to be, especially, you know, California and how many cases they have. Who really knows? I would assume, based on the time that it's taken other countries to recover, I don't want to say recover from the virus, but kind of for the case numbers to lower, at least from what we're being told, I would expect them to probably delay it until May. And then we may see these mass gatherings start again. But Disneyland is closed currently. Florida, what is it, Disney World? I always get the two mixed up. Yeah, the Florida location is still open. I guess we'll have to see. I honestly think that they're going to close the Florida location as well, but, you know, it's Disney. They need their money. Hello, Drunk 3PO. How are you doing? Was at the theme park today. It was packed. I've never been to a Disney park. Never been. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll go. Who knows though? But I've never been. Yeah. Everyone trying to get it in before it all shuts down. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would assume that people wouldn't be at these locations right now because literally the people that are probably there, like, you know, riding rides and getting high fives from the characters are probably the same people that bought out all the toilet paper at the grocery stores. They're probably the same damn people. Right, you're in Florida, not California. I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World. I've never been to anything Disney. I've never given Disney my money like that. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Who knows? Maybe the world is going to end, so I'll never have that chance. Get it in now while you can, I guess. But in all seriousness, Disneyland is closed until the end of March. I would assume that it's going to go a little bit longer based off of other countries and how long it's taken them to slowly get back to normal, but who really knows? Rumor is Walmarts across New England are out of stuff. Rumor is that everywhere is out of stuff. They're probably using toilet paper for body protection. It's not gonna work. I see people wearing masks, which I completely understand. It's a safety precaution. I'm tempted to go to the store and get swimming goggles so that it can't infect me through my eyeballs. Do you guys think I should do that? Just be like wrapped in toilet paper, a mask, and like scuba goggles. Maybe I should buy a scuba suit. Maybe we should all just live underwater. I'm a big thinker. Alright. The next topic that yes. Next topic. Oh no, the scuba suit. I should have never said the scuba suit. The next topic I wanted to discuss were movie releases being pushed back. And rumors of some movies being pushed back. Now, there have been so many announcements today. Movies pushed back due to... Today, I'm going to talk about Mulan mainly, but today we heard that Fast and Furious 9 is being pushed back, which I wanted to talk about really quickly because when it comes to Fast and Furious 9, they are pushing back the release. They're pushing it back by 11 months, which is a long time. First of all, that could mean that it's not even done because 11 months is so long. But another big thing with Fast and Furious is that the franchise sells very well in China. It is a big moneymaker in China. And obviously if people are sick in China, they're not going to go to the movie theater and purchase tickets, which is why I think they pushed back Fast and Furious 9. Also, there could also be production problems because 11 months, that's really big. The next movie that was actually delayed today, besides Mulan, let me find a article very quickly, is actually A Quiet Place Part 2. Now, they have said that A Quiet Place Part 2 is being delayed due to the virus. They didn't say, though, when it is actually releasing. Paramount just said that they are delaying the release of A Quiet Place Part 2 indefinitely due to coronavirus fears, which is a little bit shocking to me, because that is a big launch. A Quiet Place 2 is such a highly anticipated movie, but currently, they are holding A Quiet Place 2 back until they feel like releasing it. I don't know if A Quiet Place 1 did well in China. I'm not sure. But I do know that Western markets, it obviously did, A Quiet Place 1 did very well. So, there is that. But Disney, of course, today announced that Disneyland was being closed down for now, but they also announced that Mulan's release was pushed back amid coronavirus pandemics. Now, I'm just going to rant about Mulan for a second. I think what they did with Mulan is stupid. They literally removed her love interest because they were afraid of Me Too. They were like, oh, we don't want anything to do with someone falling in love with a person in power, like their boss, in a way, which I think is bullshit. I think that it's so, honestly, to me, dumb that they removed main characters because it was a direct response to the #MeToo movement. I also don't like that they removed all of the other characters. They removed the main villain. I don't remember his name. I've not seen Mulan in a while. They removed, like, Eddie Murphy's character, Mushu. They removed Mushu. I'm pretty sure they removed the fucking horse, too. They probably removed the horse because PETA would attack them or something. Like, they literally removed every damn character, and it's stupid. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, no Mushu! What kind of Mulan is this? I'm gonna be honest. I, all of my life, have really enjoyed Disney movies. Give me a good Disney movie any day. But why? It's literally, like, barely even a remake. Why not just make a new movie? You can't make Mulan without Mushu, without Cricky, without what's her love interest's name? Shang something, Shang, whatever his name is. You can't make Mulan without love interest. No, not gonna work for me. We need romance or we don't get a Disney movie. Anyway, is there singing in this? They probably didn't even do singing either, which is dumb. Well, to me it's dumb, because it's a Disney movie, let's be honest. Okay, that's like saying, let's make Phantom of the Opera without singing. Like, literally, that's exactly what it sounds like. Anyway. Yeah, X for Mushu. I'm gonna put a few of those. But with all of the other Disney announcements today, Mulan's release is being pushed back amid coronavirus pandemic. The Disney movie was set to hit theaters in North America on March 27th, but Disney is pushing back the release of its upcoming live-action, Mulan, amid growing concerns around the coronavirus, the studio said Thursday. The movie was set to hit theaters in North America on March 27th. Now, this is actually following the announcements that New Mutants is actually being delayed too. Now, a big problem with New Mutants is that it has been pushed back 4 times now, I believe. It was pushed back. I remember so it was pushed back for Dark Phoenix. It was pushed back for Deadpool. Dark Phoenix. What were the other ones? It's been pushed back like 4 times anyway. I really want to know how many times, though. This probably isn't going to say. Yeah, no, of course it's not. But it's been pushed back a couple of times now. And I am gonna be honest. I think that that New Mutants isn't going to do good anyway. New Mutants doesn't sound like it is a movie directed towards a Chinese audience, whereas Mulan is. Mulan, they wanted to be very, very set on, like, Chinese culture and all of these different things because they wanted to sell it in that region. But with New Mutants, what they are actually doing in it, which I didn't discuss, but a couple of people have talked about it, is the fact that they are adding in LGBT relationships into it. And apparently the LGBT relationships are going to be a big focus of the movie. I'm going to say it, I'm fine with diversity, I'm fine with seeing LGBT relationships on screen, but when it's forced into a movie and it's forced between characters just to say, oh, we put gay characters in our movies, I don't like that. So I don't think they were marketing that towards a Chinese audience, because I don't think that would fly there anyway. But I think with this point, New Mutants being delayed for a 4th time is really, really bad. It's just not good. I saw someone say this online, and I think it would be a decent idea. They should just put New Mutants online to stream. Obviously, they want, you know, the money from going to the theater. They want $15 a ticket per person, but I think it would be a good idea to put maybe New Mutants on a website or whatever it may be, and say, oh, if you charge maybe $20, you can, like, stream the movie until it comes out. They need to do something. Especially with all of these movies being canceled. First of all, movie theaters are going to be hurt by this move. But there's going to be a big problem with no new content coming out. They're going to have to figure out something. Whether that's, you know, allowing it to be streamed online or putting it directly on a service like a service like Netflix, or, you know, a service like Disney Plus, and they just take a loss and hope that they make more money back by saying, oh, we put, like, Mulan on Disney Plus, you can stream it now, and hope that signups will get them more money as well. But will that really help? We're not sure. Yeah, VG, I have barely seen any promotion for Mulan either. I'm usually someone that gets a lot of the, like, Disney ads online, whether I'm watching, you know, YouTube or, like, Hulu and whatnot. I usually get a lot of, like, Disney ads, and I really haven't seen anything for Mulan lately. I just think that a lot of people aren't going to like Mulan because they changed all of the characters around. They changed the story, the plot lines. I mean, without these like Shang and the relationship, a lot of the movie is just kind of gone. So I guess we'll have to see. But Mulan was, you know, delayed. New Mutants was delayed. Oh, another one that was delayed that it says here is Del Toro's Antlers. Now, Antlers was set to release in April, and I was actually excited for this movie. A mysterious creature escapes from its confines to wreak bloody havoc in a small Oregon town. I was actually excited for this movie. I am a little bit surprised that they held it back. But obviously with all of these problems, companies are just trying to be safer than sorry. They just don't want to release these movies and then have no one go and watch them and then it be a complete flop. I understand that they're trying to hold them back, but if you're not releasing content, then it's going to be a problem. Because we're going to see, you know, in 6 months, all of these movies literally release at once, and some of them are going to lose money. So why not just lose the money now rather than later? I do agree with you, Nicholas. This might be a death blow that will kill small theaters. I think that this whole situation is going to be a death blow to many different types of companies. I think that this is going to be a death blow to movie theaters, because a lot of movie theaters have very small profit margins, but also stores like game stores. We were going to do a Titans table yesterday. Unfortunately, my internet was not working. But, you know, local game stores that, like, sell Magic the Gathering and comics and board games, those companies and those retail locations are going to have a very big problem, too. We've seen a lot of Magic the Gathering events canceled lately. A lot of the professional players aren't able to do their jobs, which is unfortunate. A lot of companies are really, really going to be hurt by this. Obviously, it's nothing we can control, though. We can't control this virus right now. We can't tell people, oh, you have to go to the store because you're a committed customer, obviously. But, obviously a lot of companies are going to be hurt by all of this. And as a consumer, I'm honestly a little bit shocked to hear all of these movies being delayed. Because I feel like most companies are greedy. They are still hoping that people are going to go and watch them and see them, but I think that they're delaying them too, is because right now there's probably no movies being produced or shows being produced. Most of the actors are probably at home quarantining themselves. So the whole, just everything in general is paused. It's going to pause. And then in maybe 2 months, everything will unpause and will slowly go back to normal, at least, I hope. But yeah, that's all I really had to talk about with that. But I also wanted to talk about Black Widow really quickly. Because Disney has been persistent with saying that Black Widow is not being delayed. They said it a couple of days ago that Black Widow, we're doing it. You know, it's not being delayed. But, I mean, they have a lot of other movies being delayed as well. Maybe they're hoping that going into this it will still sell, people will still go and watch it, but... Also, I have an ad for American Red Cross on the screen. That's a little... Yeah, it's a little iffy. This is a Bounding Into Comics article. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow film could be delayed due to the coronavirus. This would not be surprising if it happened, but it is a rumor currently. The rumor comes from the Black Widow Brazil Twitter account. It translates, Scarlett and the team of Black Widows are still not sure if the film's premiere will happen as planned, but they do hope to have more concrete information soon. The information came from her own manager via Instagram. Now, Jeremy Conrad at MCU Cosmic explains that he was able to confirm that the conversation with Scarlett Johansson's manager took place. He also notes it looks like there are things going on behind the scenes that are putting that May 1st release in doubt. We don't know what that means. Things going on behind the scenes? Do they need to edit it still? Do they need to, like, reshoot things? Are there problems with the movie itself? That sounds not very promising, especially where it's supposed to release soon. However, he believes Disney might be taking a wait-and-see approach. He explains it's possible that they are waiting to see how Mulan opens up next week before making any final decisions, especially with what happened with Onward last week and all of the recent delays such as F9 moving into 2021. This article was actually posted earlier today before Mulan was announced that it was being delayed. So obviously they can't wait to see what happens with Mulan. Maybe they are planning on delaying, you know, Black Widow and they just didn't want to announce it all at once, but I feel like when they announced Mulan and New Mutants were being delayed, they probably should have announced Black Widow as well, so I'm not sure. Multiple films have already pushed back their release dates, and the upcoming 9th Fast and Furious film recently announced that they are delaying their film nearly a year to April 2021. F9, to our family of Fast fans everywhere, we feel all of the love and the anticipation you have for the next chapter in our saga. That's why it's especially tough to let you all know that we have to move the release date of the film. Give me 1 second. There we go. It's become clear that it won't be possible for all of our fans around the world to see the film this May. Obviously, like I said, this is a direct move because of their Chinese audience. The Fast and Furious franchise has a lot of Chinese fans. It does make a lot of money in the Chinese market, so it does make sense that they delayed this for those reasons. They're even kind of admitting it. We are moving the global release date to 2021, with North America opening on April 2nd. While we know there is disappointment in having to wait a little while longer, this move is made with the safety of everyone at our foremost consideration. Moving, we will allow our global family to experience our new chapter together, and we'll see you all next spring. I'm honestly a little bit shocked that they delayed it by 11 months, though. I would assume, hey, maybe 4, maybe 5 months, but 11 months? is a really, really long time in my opinion. Also, the situation with Quiet Place 2, they said, one of the things I'm most proud of is that people have said our movie is one you have to all see together. Well, due to the ever-changing circumstances of what's going on in the world around us, now is clearly not the right time to do that. As insanely excited as we are for all of you to see this movie, I'm going to wait to release the film till we can all see it together. So here's to our group movie date. They also, like it says, A Quiet Place Part 2 has absolutely no release date right now. They are delaying it indefinitely. All of these movies, it could be a big problem, especially with actors and having to film movies. Obviously, there probably are still films and TV shows being, filmed right now, but there is the chance that we could see all of these shows even start to be delayed. I mean, we're supposed to have, The Witcher Season 2 at the end of the year. That could be delayed. We're supposed to have The Mandalorian. That could be delayed because people are worried also about actors. I mean, we heard that Tom Hanks is the coronavirus and everyone was freaking out, but anyone can get it. If you're a celebrity, you can get it. So those are the rumors and the news with the movies right now. Who really knows what will happen, especially with Black Widow? I think that they should maybe delay it. It's hard to say because I don't have the information that they have. I don't have the statistic board that says, oh, even if you release it and you lose this many people, it will still do okay. I don't know that, obviously, but I would probably say they should delay it, but maybe they should have no, I was gonna say maybe they should have released Mulan, but they want that sweet Chinese money, so there is that. Before we move into the next topic, I will talk to you guys in chat for a moment. They should have done the Black Widow movie during Phase 2, to be honest. It looks cool, but with Black Widow dead, it feels very weird that they're releasing it now. I agree. I personally think that this movie should have been, a couple of years ago. They should have made this Black Widow movie, honestly, around the same time as, Thor, I don't want to say, maybe Thor 2? I would agree. In Phase 2, they really should have made this movie, because now that we know how her character arc ends, it feels very odd. That's one thing I don't like about movies, is when you are watching a movie, but you know that the character lives, because it ruins that excitement and that thrill. If you know, oh, this character lives until, season 8 of a show, then you know they're not going to die. Then it ruins that excitement, in my opinion. Black Widow would be a movie that I would go and see in theaters. If it's released, I probably will do a video on it and watch it, because I do want to talk about how they treat women in it, in a sense. Because I did talk about Birds of Prey, and a big problem I had was, first of all, the characters were trash, but also the anti-male stance. I want to see how Black Widow is going to be. Because, in my opinion, Wonder Woman, the movie, has done everything right. They have done a strong, independent female perfectly. And I want to know how they're going to treat kind of the female stance in Black Widow, because Natasha is a very strong, independent, I don't need no man character, but the way that she portrays that in the movie will be very important. They need to scrap it and finally release Fast and Furious Race of Cybertron. Ooh, sounds great. Where they race Prime and Megatron. They do. Sounds great. Let me check chat really quickly. Yeah, if it comes out in May, I will go and see it probably. Obviously depending on how the situation is evolving with the coronavirus. I talked about it a tiny bit on the channel, but I do have medical problems, so, I'm not looking to go to the store and get the coronavirus. Not today, at least. Maybe I'll buy that scuba suit, though. That'd be good. Shut everything down. Maybe they should shut everything down. People can have a great break. Guys, just so you know, when your work gets canceled, I will be here. I will be creating content, daily content. I will be here live streaming when you don't have work to go to and you don't have anything to watch. I will be streaming through the pandemic. I will be here. I will be here. Alright, the next topic I wanted to discuss was E3's cancellation and what it could mean for the next-gen consoles. Now, I have a little bit talked about E3 last live stream on Monday. I did talk about E3's cancellation, and other game convention cancellation, so if you're curious on that, go back and watch that live stream too. But I wanted to talk about what could happen with the next-gen consoles. Sure thing, Vera. I will be here, 100%. You bet your bottom dollar. E3 2020 is officially cancelled, but with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X due to release, due to release in late 2020, what does that mean for next generation consoles? While Sony confirmed that it wouldn't be attending the Gaming Expo this year, we were expecting announcements from developers about what projects they have cooking for the PlayStation 5. Meanwhile, Microsoft confirmed it would be attending E3 2020, and we were expecting the company to show off the next Xbox and its launch titles at the event. So what is going to happen now? With the ESA looking into options for an online experience, here's what we think E3's cancellation will mean for next-generation consoles. What it possibly means for the PlayStation 5. I do want to note that nothing is confirmed. It's not confirmed that the consoles are being delayed. It's not confirmed that any games are really being delayed. It's all speculation. I do want to make that clear. I do not have any inside information saying these events are going to be canceled. Maybe one day. I will get the information first. Maybe one day. The good news is that Sony wasn't attending E3 2020 anyway. The company confirmed earlier this year that it was skipping the expo and is likely opting to reveal the PS5 at its own event. So in terms of the PS5 reveal, E3's cancellation isn't likely to have a huge impact. Any PS5 exclusives are likely to be announced at Sony's own event rather than anywhere else. However, we were expecting third-party developers and publishers to announce or showcase their PlayStation 5 games at E3 2020. It was the same, I do want to say, for PAX East. At PAX East, Sony was supposed to be there. They pulled out. Who else pulled out? Oh my gosh, so many people pulled out of PAX East. Anyway, a lot of them pulled out, and you weren't able to play some of the important games like Doom Eternal. You weren't able to play The Last of Us 2. A lot of these games were not at PAX East due to companies pulling out. Publishers who have previously announced they're working on games for the PS5 and Xbox Series X were set to attend the conference, including the likes of Ubisoft, and it's likely those who haven't officially revealed they are yet would have done so at the event. Fortunately, the ESA is looking into online options which could see the organizers streaming the conferences and announcements instead. So we should still get the same announcements and news, but without the pizzazz of an E3 keynote now. This is something that I said a couple of days ago that they should do, but it is not confirmed that they are doing the streaming event. It's not confirmed, because it would take probably so much planning to do. There is still that option on the table, but right now the physical E3 event is canceled. Possibly, though, they could stream, some of the content, which would be good. It's also possible that during the official PS5 reveal, Sony will show off some of the games that were due to be shown at E3, but whether the company will want to showcase games coming to both next-gen consoles isn't likely, as Sony will probably want to keep its reveal to its PS5 exclusives. What this means for the Xbox Series X. Microsoft is probably going to be the hardest hit by the cancellation of E3 2020. The company confirmed it would be attending the event, and we were expecting a full reveal of the Xbox Series X and its launch titles during the Xbox E3 conference. But all might not be lost. Xbox boss Phil Spencer tweeted shortly after the ESA's announcement that the company will be holding its own digital event in lieu of an E3 conference. While Spencer didn't divulge any details on what will entail, it's likely that the company will be hosting a live stream conference of some sort. He did say E3 has always been an important moment for Team Xbox. Given the decision, this year will celebrate the next gen of gaming with the Xbox community and all who love to play via an Xbox digital event. Spencer said that the details on times and dates will be revealed in the coming weeks. It's likely this digital event will either take place on the date Microsoft's conference was due, or we could see a reveal sooner without the restrictions of E3 scheduling. Right now, we can only speculate when the event will take place. Either way, we're still going to hear from Microsoft. I think that it's a good idea to just do a digital event. I thought that what they should have done for E3 was just do a big digital event and have every company like send in their like clip. If Sony, let's say whoever, if Microsoft had a 2-hour clip of time during the conference, they can send in the digital clip of the video with the 2 hours. I think that would have been good, and I really do think that they should do that. But I think that the ESA hasn't announced that they're doing that yet because it would take a lot of planning. And even though E3 was still a couple of months away, developers and companies do still have to really take in the fact that E3 is physically canceled. Never mind, having to set up like a digital clip. So who knows? There's also rumors that, the next-gen consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, could be delayed due to production issues, due to, the production plants being closed down temporarily. There's also, rumors of, like, the next-gen graphics cards. Graphics cards were supposed to come out at the end of the year, and there's possible production problems with those. Those are all rumors. They are not facts, they are just speculations, but I do think that the gaming industry is going to be hit hard by this, especially with developers that can't work. Maybe even physical copies of games might not be released on time. We might even get game releases that won't have a physical edition come out because of production issues. Obviously speculation. Who really knows? Disney World Florida just closed, did it? Let me check this real quick. So they just had the last day? I don't see anything. Yes, okay. I will read this for you guys really quickly. Sorry for switching topics. Anyway, that's all that I really wanted to talk about with that. Before we get to that, I obviously do think that the coronavirus could seriously hurt the gaming industry. It's unfortunate because obviously developers put so much time and effort into games and, especially their presentations. I do feel bad that they, they can't go and, all of these events are being canceled and they are, big opportunities for them to promote their games. But I would much rather, and I'm sure that they would much rather, have their employees be safe and be comfortable. We are talking about, a lot of developers and a lot of companies that come out of, like, China and Japan, and, we have developers in, like, Sweden and all of these different places. I'd rather people be safe than everyone take a chance and possibly being hurt because they took a risky chance. So that's all we wanted to talk about with that. Let me check the Walt Disney Resort thing really quickly. Alright, so this is it. Let me see if I can, I don't need to make it smaller. So, VG actually just told me this. Thank you, VG. We talked about at the beginning how Disneyland in California was actually suspending operations, but now Walt Disney Resort in Florida is actually suspending operations. Drunk 3PO had actually been in the chat earlier and said, I was just at the Florida park today. It was super busy and there were so many people there. Drunk 3PO, if you're still here, you just heckin' jinxed yourself, my friend. You just heckin' jinxed yourself. No Disney World for you right now. Walt Disney World Resort in Florida is now suspending operations due to coronavirus concerns. whew, in an abundance of caution and in the best interests of our guests and employees, we are proceeding with the closure of our theme parks at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida and Disneyland Paris Resort. Ooh, the Paris Resort as well, which we talked about, but they didn't close yet. Beginning at the close of business on Sunday, March 15th, through the end of the month. So they are, keeping operations going through the weekend, which, I mean, maybe they shouldn't, but it's their choice. They're still closing it until the end of the month. And then the Disney Cruise Line will also suspend all new departures beginning Saturday, March 14th through the end of the month. That one I'm actually surprised at. I figured that they would have already done that, like, at the beginning of the situation, because of how many cruises had sick people on them. I would have assumed that they would have done that, at first, like, maybe even like half a month ago. But they earlier closed for a month at least the California Disneyland, but now they have closed Walt Disney Resort in Florida. Thank you, Fiji, for telling me. I appreciate it. And the Paris location is closed as well. Obviously, Paris is having a lot of problems with this as well. It's unfortunate. It's hard to talk about because, while I do want people to be cautious and to be safe, I also don't want people to be sitting at their computer screens crying because they think the world is ending. I don't think that the world is ending, my friends. If the world ends, you can come after me. Did you guys, I'm not gonna bring it up, I don't think, but did you guys hear about in Europe today? Where was it? I think it was in France, actually. Yes, it was in France. There were 3,500 people that dressed up as Smurfs to break a world record. They literally broke a Guinness World Record for the most Smurfs in one place, and there were like 3,500 people dressed up as Smurfs. They laugh in the face of the coronavirus. Ay, people these days. Yeah, there's that. But thank you for telling me about this news. I do appreciate it. It is it's something new, fortunately. I think that is going to be all of the coronavirus discussion I'm going to have tonight. Before we move to the last topic of the night, which is not coronavirus related, I will chat with you guys for a moment before we move into that topic. Smurfs are clearly immune. I'll show you guys a picture. I don't want to talk about it because I just told you guys the gist of it. But I'm just gonna show you guys this really quickly. Don't you guys think this is a little stupid? Look at this. Do you really need to dress up as Smurfs to break a world record today? Can't you guys just do it in like a month or 2 months? Maybe when you don't have the possibility of dying? I think it's just funny. I think that it's funny that people would do that. Anyway, I'll move into the last topic in just a moment. That really just happened, yes. 4,000 people almost dressed up as Smurfs to break a world record in France. And they were asked about the coronavirus and they just laughed. I aspire to be them. Like, just not caring at all. Really quickly, before I get into the last topic of the night, unless something else new happens, of course. If you're enjoying the live stream, please make sure to give it a like, and of course, if you're not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Also, consider donating to the channel via Streamlabs. For $20 and up donations, we actually have a brand new notification, which is toss a coin to your Witcher notification, which is very fun. If you're not already a Dark Titan, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon. You can for just $1 a month. And there's my self-shilling. Yeah, plane trips are very cheap right now. Like, if we're gonna ever do a Dark Titan meetup, now is the time. We might all get the coronavirus, but we'll have a meetup. It'll be great. Alright, let me get the next topic ready. We have 0 dislikes. At least one person give it a dislike. Come on. Alright, so this is actually something that was sent to me right before I started the live stream, actually, which I hadn't heard of yet. But apparently Patreon is allegedly banning anime-related content. Now, I've talked quite a lot about Valve and how they view anime content, and also Sony, how they view anime content. A lot of these companies are being really heavy-hitting on these types of games and just this type of illustration, because characters can appear young. Now, even though a character may be 18 years old, 19 years old, people are still, there are people in these companies that still view it as bad. Like, there could be a character that's 18 years old, but she could be wearing a schoolgirl outfit, and oh no, could be misinterpreted. Someone could think that she's underage, so we have to ban it. Valve on Steam and also Sony have banned many games for these reasons. I've talked about them time and time again. Maybe I should do like a wrap-up, like just a short description of every game. It would be like an hour-long video, but maybe I should do that. But apparently Patreon is allegedly beginning to ban anime-related content. As you guys know, I do currently use Patreon. I do have a Patreon. I am going to be setting up a subscribe star as an alternative. I do have direct donations in case anyone wants to donate to the channel, but I do have a Patreon set up currently. A lot of people have very mixed opinions on Patreon, which is perfectly fine. As I am not monetized by YouTube, I found it to be a very helpful and resourceful site for my content. But Patreon has done some iffy things in the past. They've acted in very iffy ways during specific situations. But I hadn't heard about this until now. Now, I don't know how long the situation actually has gone on. Because I was just sent this article today, I will be looking into this very deeply tonight, and I probably will make a video on it tomorrow. But Patreon is allegedly banning anime-related content. Over the years, Patreon has seen an increasingly tight set of rules, at times outright banning users of the platform for arguably dubious reasons. Now it seems Patreon may find anime to be problematic, which is a recurring theme in 2020 for some reason. Also in 2019, I feel like it was starting to get really bad in 2019. Someone had retweeted in response to it allegedly occurred to an artist claiming this post was from their Patreon. What the fuck is this shit? Anime is basically all underage now to Patreon? Do you not think for one moment that this is totally lacking any common business sense? If you don't want to do business with an independent creator, just come out and say it. I will bring this up so it's a bit bigger so you guys can see it, because I couldn't see it. Oh my gosh, it's so big. Oh geez, that's what she said. Oh, that's right, Twitter won't let me make it bigger. Basically it says, This time, Patreon officials strictly deal with two things: restriction and pressure of minors, Japanese style, and restrictions and pressure on external websites. It says, me too, I was unsubscribed because of this. All of my artwork, including adult women, was certified to look minor. In addition, it was recognized as violent when the person who felt an orgasm, such as a higo, was not smiling. Why me only? It's a little bit weird to talk about this stuff, but for several months, Patreon has been monitoring my Twitter logs from corner to corner and has no idea why she has sent dozens of emails requesting access to an already empty Google Drive. Is it Asian discrimination? I am wondering about the inspection of Patreon's operations. If you're a Patreon artist, be careful with your art taste. I wish you all safe. As you can imagine, people are not very happy. Why does America insist on its one-side war against anime? Western, lefty comics sell like shit because it's badly drawn and with horrible story and plot lines. This is their only recourse. I'm gonna be honest, I do think that Western comics, some of the drawing is very good. I'm not going to agree with this person and say all of the Western, comics are badly drawn, because I do think there are some amazing artists out there. But I would agree with the fact that most of the new comics, most of the modern comics do have very bad stories and very bad plots. I would agree with that. I've talked about it a little bit on the channel. I personally stopped buying comics because I just didn't see a point to spend money on things that I didn't truly support. And a lot of the stories are pretty bad. Why does America insist on its one-sided war against anime? Middle-aged white women. Why does America insist on its one-sided war against anime? Not America. Certain idiots. I think that this is honestly a little bit funny. Why does America insist on its one-sided war against anime? Because we tolerate moral neo-Puritans, conservative Christians, and other shit. If you don't defend free speech, even disgusting speech, you will be left with nothing. And of course, it does say... there are responses from people saying drawings can't be underage. The war on anime is real. Because Japanese style equals minors, what? This seems really over the top reaction. How can even measure that? What the actual hell is this shit, Patreon? Now, I'm going to be honest. I do not agree with Patreon's decision here. I do want to look more into the situation. But these are fictional characters. If someone says their character, you know, is 19 or 20, if they are over a legal age, then companies should respect that and say, okay, just because they look underage doesn't mean they are underage. And yes, a lot of Japanese art style when it comes to, you know, anime and drawings, some of the characters do look very young. I will admit it. But if they're not underage or they're not young, then why are you banning them? That's absolutely ridiculous. Just because it's a Japanese art style doesn't mean they're automatically minors, which it does sound as how Patreon's kind of treating the situation at this point. I don't agree with that. I think that that is awful. I think that people should be able to draw what they want, and as long as it's, you know, it's rated properly, you know, it's got like, oh yeah, this character's aged properly, I think that people should be able to create whatever they want. I do not think that people should be allowed to just say, you know what, I don't like this art style, so I'm going to ban all of the content that you have created. Vera looks underage. See, I'm banned now. Valve will block my account. You know, Sony will block my account. YouTube, gonna close my account. Patreon, no, gotta close that. You know, people do look, there are, you know, real people that do look younger than they are. It's just how humans work. And we're talking about drawings here. These are not real people. These are fictional characters. These photos and these drawings are not based off of real people. They're not based off of real people, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that these companies like Valve can say, well, your art style looks a little bit iffy, your characters look a little bit young, so ban. Guys, I need a hammer. I need a hammer so I can hit stuff. This honestly really upsets me. You guys know I defend free speech. I defend, you know, artists' rights to create the art that they want. I think that this is disgusting. Obviously, I want to make sure that this is how Patreon is acting, and that, you know, I want to see if they've done this more than once as well. They are saying that this is the statement from Patreon, but I obviously use Patreon, and that doesn't really look like something that would pop up on Patreon. Obviously, I've never had anything suspended on Patreon, so maybe I've just never seen that notification, but I do want to look more into it. And some of the other people's responses were, where is this from? Is this an official statement? This is from someone's Patreon, which is currently suspended, and their Patreon is suspended. Wait, hold on, are the higher-ups at Patreon actually insane? I mean, literally textbook definition of the inability to tell fantasy from reality. Are they actually nuts? Maybe we should get them committed before they harm themselves and others. Many artists on Patreons have moved to Pix Ivy. I have no clue what that is. I'll have to look into it. Perhaps another wave of artists leaving Patreon is coming. I think that this is absolutely ridiculous. We are talking about fictional characters in fictional settings, and even if they look young, doesn't mean that they're young. And if an artist says my character is 18, 19, 20, that should be respected by companies. So that's what I wanted to talk about this situation. I am going to probably make a video on it for tomorrow, you guys, so I will have kind of more information. I'm going to dig deeper in it tonight. But this is disgusting, and this should not happen to people. Artists should have the ability to create the art that they want without being told you can't do that because we don't like it. I don't want thought police around here. And that's, they're acting like the thought police. We don't like this, so you can't do it. I should get like a thought police poster and then like hit it all the time, because I would. The poster would be wrecked in minutes. It's disgusting that companies can act this way. Guys, if my Patreon is banned tonight, you guys will know. I don't have any problems with the way that Patreon, with their system itself, like with, you know, the way that they take money and the percents that they take money. It has been a very useful and helpful and good tool to me as a content creator, but I don't think that they should treat consumers like this. Maybe I'll be banned in the morning. That would be unfortunate. I've heard situations happening with Patreon and the way that they've treated other creators, but I really hope that this isn't just this isn't going to be a big problem in a wave of banning anime related content, that maybe this is just like one of the odd cases and maybe it won't turn into a problem, but I am going to monitor it very closely. LOL, thought police. I want to get a t-shirt that says that. The thought police, but T-H-O-T, like a thought. I want a t-shirt like that. Does that exist? Because I really want one. It does. It does exist. Oh man, I gotta get me one. Oh, there's multiple of them. Yes, thought police, yes. I'm going to... Oh no, I'm so cheesy. I'm gonna have to purchase that shirt, you guys. Protect free speech, yes. I try to discuss situations like this that happen on a very regular basis. I think that it is awful. And I think that what Valve does as well is awful. I still use Steam because they do provide content that is not on other platforms. But, you know, Steam acts the same way. They ban content that they want, they restrict content that they want, and they say remove it or screw you, go somewhere else, which is awful. Even if it is properly rated, a lot of the times they'll just say you can't put this content on our platform because it's disgusting in my opinion. So that's all that I had to really talk about tonight, you guys. I talked about the Patreon situation. I talked about Disneyland and Disney World now being closed until the end of the month. I did discuss, you know, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and the possible cancellations of, you know, more gaming events. And we did talk about Mulan, Quiet Place 2, Fast and Furious 9, and Black Widow all being delayed, and Black Widow possibly being delayed. So that's all that I had to talk about tonight, you guys. I will chat with you guys and do the Q&A portion of the live stream now, and in case there's any other topics that you guys want me to discuss, if there's, you know, something else that has happened that you guys want me to talk about, feel free to put it in chat now and let me know, because I'm definitely up for talking about more, if there's anything. Farrah's going to be a thought police officer. You'll know when she starts wearing the shirt. I gotta get like a hat too. I'm gonna start cosplaying a thought police officer. What do you guys think? I don't know about that. I don't know if that's my... I don't know if that's my jam. But you know what? Maybe I could do it. I'm the thought police. It's like any other medium, for example, so realism art versus something done by Rembrandt. Both are art, but they have nothing in common. Also find that people who rile against young anime characters don't understand anime for the most part. That is very true. A lot of the politicians that are anti-anime that say it's disgusting and it's child exploitation, and the people even online that are like, why would you allow content like that to be posted? You probably don't understand the context of it. You don't understand what anime is. You don't understand the story. Yes, a lot of the time anime does have maybe sexual references and jokes and all of these things, but a lot of the time it's not like it's over the top. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but I think that a lot of people that, you know, are anti-anime and saying ban it because it's disgusting don't truly understand it. Wasn't keeping track, but was the Switch version of Outer Worlds still delayed? I'm actually not sure. That was loud. Oh, also, you guys, I did want to tell you all that the next donation goal, the next item that I do want to get for the setup, I did just get a new microphone. Thank you guys for your donations for that. But I do want to get an arm for the microphone, which is like $120 for the setup. So that is the next donation goal. I posted it in Discord that I do want to get one at some point to, you know, let you guys know. But, it says Outer Worlds. So the Outer Worlds Nintendo Switch. Let me check. Yeah, it still says on the Nintendo official website, it says the Outer Worlds for Nintendo Switch is TBD. So they still haven't announced the release date of the Outer Worlds for Switch. I personally probably won't play it on Switch. I think that it's an okay game, but I didn't think that it was amazing. But it is a good game. It's okay. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was a really good show. I personally prefer the books. Obviously, the show did go longer than the books. I thought the show up to season 6 was really good. Season 6? Season 5 or 6, I thought the show was really good. And then it just, you know, started kind of going downhill. But I thought, you know, it was an okay show. It was pretty good at the beginning. Another show that I'm excited for that, you know, we've heard rumors that it's on hiatus right now is the Lord of the Rings TV show. Who's doing that? I think it's Amazon. That, you know, the Lord of the Rings show, apparently it's just a rumor, and I've talked about it a little bit. All of the writers were like fired, and it's on hiatus right now, and they even fired some of the actors. We have no clue if that's true or not, but I was actually shocked to hear that. That's another show that I am pretty excited for, though. Depending on how it goes, though, you know, if all of the writers are fired, then there's obviously a big problem, which wouldn't be good. Is Outer Worlds just like New Vegas? It's not. It's similar, kind of. I think that New Vegas was better, though. Like, a lot better. I would say Outer Worlds is like a 5 out of 10, in my opinion. It's good, but it's generic. And I feel like New Vegas was like a 7 out of 10. Obviously, you might prefer different games than I do, for sure, which is perfectly fine. Game of Thrones rocked until the final season. I don't know, I feel like 7 and 8 were pretty bad. I feel like season 7 was kind of, you know, kind of lacking too. Obviously, in all of the seasons, there were great moments and there were less than great moments, but I do think that the show overall was okay. I would like a season 7 and season 8 rewrite, maybe even just a season 8 rewrite, but we're never going to get it, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately. It's very sad to me. I don't like when shows, you know, are so great and then they're just ruined. It's unfortunate. I'm just checking chat. I'd play New Vegas first, then Outer Worlds. New Vegas is a really good game. It's a really good game. I just applied to work for Big Brother. I'm watching you. Oh no. Are all of my mods like working for Big Brother now? Frank, are you here? Frank, did you apply too? I don't think Ching is here anymore. But you know, wouldn't surprise me. My mods are watching me. Are you guys excited for the Last of Us TV show? I'm on the fence with it because I did like The Last of Us 1. I thought that it was a pretty damn good game. It was an interactive movie. I thought it was good. But I'm worried about 2. I'm okay with characters being LGBT. I have no problems with a character being gay. I have no problems with those things. I'm just worried how they're going to approach Ellie and the rumors about what happens to like her girlfriend in the story. I think that the show would be okay. I obviously think that the game, the first game that I have to go off of was amazing. It was really good. 2, I'm hoping that Last of Us Part 2 is really good as well, and I'm hoping the TV show's good. I don't want these things to fail. I want these movies and these shows and these games to be really good, and I'm hoping that it's going to turn out good. I am a little bit skeptical, though. I'm a little bit skeptical. Yeah, Night of the Comet, great movie. I have no desire to see The Last of Us TV show. The game is already a movie. Yeah, so there is that argument that why would you want to watch a TV show when you can literally just play the game, which is basically an interactive movie. I'm just not sure of the story they're really going to tell in The Last of Us TV show. I'm just not sold on the idea of it, because they did say that the show will have some of the best assets from the game. So what does that mean? Are they literally just retelling the story that was in the game? Are they going to maybe like make it like an alternate story? Like, what happens if this didn't happen? What happens if this happened? Like, we don't know. I am a little bit skeptical. I hope that it turns out good, though. I would really like it to turn out good. That would be amazing to me. Yes, I'm worried about it. I'm worried about everything, though. That's my problem, is all of these games and TV shows, we see how they kind of get co-opted. Narratives are thrown into them. Propaganda, woke propaganda is thrown into them. We see, like, these forced opinions, and I don't like that stuff. I don't like watching that. I don't want to watch a TV show with that type of stuff. I don't want to play a game with that type of stuff. So I hope that in the end, it turns out really good. I really hope that the show doesn't fail, but I am way more excited for The Witcher Season 2 and The Mandalorian Season 2. By the way, you guys, there were rumors that, like, CD Projekt Red was, like, working on a new Witcher game and all of this stuff. They did officially announce today that they are not. Currently, CD Projekt Red is all hands on deck for Cyberpunk 2077. They do not have any teams working on anything besides Cyberpunk 2077 right now, but they did say that after Cyberpunk 2077 is done, they do have plans to do another Witcher story game, like another story, single-player story Witcher game. So that's kind of exciting. But if they don't have anyone working on it right now, that's a bit worrying to me. But they did say a Witcher game will begin development immediately after Cyberpunk 2077 is released, so they are very excited for it. Obviously, they've got it planned. But they did also say that the Witcher game, here, I'll bring up an article real quick for you guys. A new Witcher game will begin development immediately after Cyberpunk 2077 is released, but they did actually announce that the Witcher game won't be a direct sequel to The Witcher 3. How do you guys feel about that? Are you guys fans of the Witcher storyline that's been told now? Or would you be excited to see a game that isn't a direct sequel? I'll read the article. Work is set to begin on the new Witcher game once Cyberpunk 2077 launches, and the CD Projekt Red president has revealed. He said he told a group of journalists that a relatively clear concept has already been staked down for the next entry in the Witcher series, but that full production won't kick off immediately after Cyberpunk 2077 hits shelves. I think that they should have a team working on it now. Because of the show, I think that the show was so big. I personally thought that they should have, when the show released, they should have released some sort of DLC for The Witcher 3. I was very disappointed that they didn't. I think that would have been huge for them. But, you know, they already have a concept for the next entry in the Witcher series. After Cyberpunk 2077 is done, they are completely going to focusing on that game, which I am very excited for. But they did say that the new Witcher game apparently won't be a direct sequel to the 2015's Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and it won't be called The Witcher 4. He also said that every game the Polish studio currently has planned will be based in either the Witcher or Cyberpunk universe. I think that is very interesting. They are going all in with these two franchises. They think that the future of their company is in Cyberpunk and The Witcher, which I don't think is bad, but I think that is a lot to say when you haven't even released Cyberpunk yet. yes, Cyberpunk is a huge game. It's got a lot of people that are excited for it. But I do think that maybe saying that you're going to base like your whole company right now on two universes that you don't even know if one is going to mesh with people, I think that it is a little bit worrying. Isn't Geralt's story over now? We don't really see. The thing is that they could continue it if they wanted to. Like, if they wanted to make Geralt's story go on, they obviously could. You know, it's like Game of Thrones. You kill off a character, then hoodoo voodoo, and he's alive again. Like, you could do that as many times as you want. But I do agree that I think Geralt's story could and should be over. I think that the 3 games was a lot of story for Geralt. I love Geralt, don't get me wrong. But I think that going into new Witcher games, I would love to see something different. I'm going to say it, because I know that this is going to be something that a lot of people may not agree with. I would love to see a female Witcher. Now, Ciri is trained as a Witcher. She is not an official Witcher in 3. I would actually like to see a female Witcher, because as of right now in the lore, there are no females that have ever lived through being a Witcher. And the writers have, the writer, I don't remember his name, Andre, he did say that yes, females can be Witchers. It is very difficult. Obviously, there's none in the known lore right now that are, you know, that have gone through the trials and the rituals, but he did say that it's possible. I would like to see a female Witcher, but I would like to see from the very beginning her going through the trials, her getting her ass kicked, like, and her actually becoming one. I know that we, you know, a lot of people have different opinions on them, you know, changing the games and making everything female-based. I understand that this is a problem, kind of, they're getting rid of all of the male characters and replacing them with females. But I would actually like to see a female Witcher. I think that that story would be cool, because we've never seen one before. We have never seen one, and I think that that would be interesting. I think that it would give maybe a little bit of pizzazz to everything. I think that it's an alternate perspective that could be good. Let's turn Geralt into a female. Geralt would be a sexy female. I mean, what? There's probably fan art online. Hold on. Gotta, you know, do science. Okay, so everyone's like, it's just Ciri. Everyone's like female Geralt, and it's literally just Ciri. How boring. I mean, Ciri's cute and all, but she's no female Geralt. Yeah, I mean, there's so few boys that actually survived the trials of becoming a Witcher, and there's no females that have become one. The writer, of course, did say that it is possible. I just haven't written one yet, and I think that that would be awesome to see. Hot take, I actually want a female to do something, but I want her to be like a strong, kick-ass female. I guess we do have Ciri. She's as close to a female Witcher as we've ever gotten, which she is a really freaking good character. I really do like her. But she's not like official. She's not official, guys. And I want like a official girl. Just my hot take. Hello, Grizzly. How are you doing? Welcome to the end of the live stream. I hope that you're doing well. Ciri is a Witcher at the end of Witcher 3 True Ending. She's not a Witcher, though. She didn't become an official Witcher, right? I don't think she became official Witcher. Because she never went through the trials. Maybe I don't know. I don't think there's technically any female Witchers. Yeah. So there are, in the universe, from what I see, in the lore, that there are no female Witchers. Now, Ciri was trained like a Witcher, but she never went through some of the rituals to become one. So that area is very kind of gray. But yeah, most likely they wouldn't survive, but even if we had just one female, just one, and that was the story we saw, I think that that could be awesome. Really should open up that game one day. It's staring at me. What game? Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is an amazing game. I know The Witcher 1 wasn't like a hot game that a lot of people didn't actually like, but I really loved Witcher 1. Actually, I never finished the playthrough, but when I first started the channel, I did some of The Witcher 1. Maybe I should redo that. Maybe I should do a live stream of The Witcher 1. and then 2, and then 3, and I'll never be able to play another game in my life because they're so freaking long. Usually females don't survive the rituals because there's like multiple rituals. The last ritual has like a 98% kill rating on females. But we need that 1%. We need that 1%. Yeah, a female Witcher could be awesome if done right. That's all I'm asking for. Don't do it if it's not going to be done right, but if it could be done right, that would be amazing. I like collecting the sex conquest trading cards of the Witcher. Oh no. Such an NSFW game. It really is. I'd see a female Witcher like a Sarah Connor type or a Samus. I don't know, because I feel like... Again, like, I'm thinking of Ciri. She's great. She's a great character, but she could be a little different. She could be a little bit more badass. I know nothing about The Witcher. What makes it hard for women to Witcher? Because when you are becoming a Witcher, there's like 4 rituals. There's 4 big rituals that you have to survive, and it's got like most of them have like a 70 to 80% kill rating. It's like 3 out of 10 boys survive. And the last ritual has like a 98% kill rating on females for some reason. Female bodies just can't handle it. But I would love to see that 1.5% of a female survive. Alright, you guys, I'm going to end the live stream in just a second. I will post this in chat one more time, and I will finish up reading your comments. I have all of them. I played 1 until the SOD, never played 2, only played a little of 3. They're all amazing games. In my opinion, I really love the Witcher games. I personally think that, I don't know, it's hard to say Witcher best, because even though 2 is like a hot take, people don't really like 1. I have 2 and 3 behind me. I think that you guys can see them, but I do have The Witcher 2 and 3 behind me. I don't have a boxed 1 Witcher. They are very expensive. Very, very expensive. There's like a PR kit. It's like $800. Gotta buy me that. But I think that 1 wasn't as popular, but 1 is really great. I think that all of them are really good. And if you're going to play them, you might as well play them in sequence. So you don't bother my sequence OCD. First one is true to Poland's environments, buildings. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that they did okay in all of the games, but I think that 1... Because they were testing the waters with 1, they didn't know if it was going to work, and it obviously did. Ciri's trending in The Witcher 3 is called Ciri Becomes a Witcher. I didn't... In the official lore, if you look online, it says that she's technically not a Witcher. I'll have to look back into that, though. Alright, you guys, I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do very much so appreciate it. If you are not already, please make sure to join our Discord. We are very active there. I let you guys know when I am streaming. Tomorrow night on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be here playing some Overwatch. I was going to play it tonight, but I decided to have some discussions with you guys. So I will be streaming Overwatch tomorrow night. Please join me and hang out for a nice Friday night. If you enjoyed the live stream, please make sure to give it a like, and of course if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. If you are not already supporting me on Patreon, consider becoming a Dark Titan for just $1 a month. The link is in the description of the stream. But thank you guys so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic night, everybody.